So let's talk about measurements. Measurements are, as they sound, we're going to be measuring out a variety of different things. We're going to get to some of those quantities in a bit. But first thing I want to just tell everybody, um, in this chemistry class, right, scientists use the International System of Units. Okay, so SI. SI is what we call them for short. Okay, now SI is usually going to be based off the metric system for the most part, but there are some differences here. Okay, but in this class, right, in chemistry, think of everything on the metric scale, on the metric scale. So because of that, right, that's going to impact on what we are going to be considering for our measurement units. Now, let's talk about length. Okay, so length is basically, right, we're trying to see how something long is or something like that. Usually we're using meters, like I said before, metric system. So we have meters here. The symbol for meters is a small m. Mass, if you're trying to measure mass or something, usually it's going to be kilograms or grams, and the symbol for that is kg. Time, if you're measuring time, we got seconds here, and then temperature. If we're going to measure it in temperature in this class, we're primarily going to use Kelvin, big K here. We'll get more into Kelvin in a bit. Okay. So let's just talk about real fast mass. So when we're talking about mass, you mentioned mass before, but mass is basically we're measuring the quantity of matter. Okay, so how much matter something actually has. Okay, we don't want to confuse this with weight. Okay, so they seem like they would be the same thing, right? But they're actually a little different. So with mass, we're measuring the quantity of matter, but weight, when we think about weight, we got to talk about gravity, okay? So that force that's going to be on that mass. Okay, so weight is the force that gravity exerts on the object. Okay, this can change depending on where the object is. So, right, the weight of, for instance, myself, I will weigh different if I'm on Earth compared to when I'm going to be on Mars in 50 years, right? Shout out to Elon Musk. Okay. But I'm going to have a different weight. Why? Because I'm going to be under different gravitational pulls, right? So that force is impacting my weight. However, right, I still will have the same mass. Okay. So if I'm whatever kilograms on Earth, I will be the same mass on Mars. Okay, when I'm there in 50 years, I keep telling y'all. Okay, now you got to understand that's the key difference between mass and weight. Mass, right? We're measuring the matter. Weight, we got to think about gravity. We have many prefixes for those measurements. As you can see, we have those prefixes to basically tell us how much of something we have. Okay, so I'm not going to go through all these. Definitely take some time to look at this. Pause the video if you want to look at it even more. But I'm only going to focus on a couple of these, the ones that we're mainly going to be working with this semester. So for instance, let's just start off with kilo. Kilo, the prefix is kilo. The symbol is K, and this is telling me that the multiplier is 1,000. So 10 to the 3 here, 10 to the 3. Now, this is letting me know, right? We have a base unit. We have a base unit. For instance, say I'm working with meters. Okay, so I got my meters here. If I want kilometers, that means that I need to times my meters, my base unit, by 1,000, my multiplier. Okay, and this is going to let me know that, okay, I have kilometers, right? If we take it a step further, right, right, we can see our multiplier is 10 to the 12, okay, giga, etc., okay? And then we go on the opposite end as we go down. For instance, let's just focus on milli. That's one we're going to say a lot of this semester. Milli is small, okay? So milli, the symbol is M. And then this is telling me that I need to multiply this by 0.001, okay? So if you guys remember this in grade school, if you remember moving that decimal over, that's all this is, the prefixes. right? If it's milli, you're moving that decimal over 1, 2, 3 to the left. If it's kilo, you're moving that decimal over to 1, 2, 3 to the right. Now, I I do not suggest using that method in this class going forward. It's definitely a good way to remember something, but you need to know these prefixes, especially, and listen here, kilo, centi, milli, nano, for sure. Okay? These are the ones that we're definitely going to be using in this class. But it's going to make it a lot easier if you know these multipliers in the long run. Okay. Just because of when we get to the big dog at the very end of this dimensional analysis. Okay. I'm not trying to scare nobody. Don't be scared of dimensional analysis.